Right, little response to Matrix Breakout. And this is becoming a bit of a regular occurrence, like responses to Matrix Breakout. But I'm not here chastising Matrix and not requested like my opinion. That's I'm just like, this is a helpful response to Matrix Breakout. And what he was saying in the comments and that, right, was about the sort of the COVID hex and the sort of ideas about vaccines, etc., and all this, right. And I just sort of noticed that in his comment section and that, right, like Matrix Breakout 8, I think it is, and he's got a lot of comments by what I can only see as shills and trolls who are putting in a lot of comments. And it's notable that these accounts, what you see there, right, you don't see them on the other channels which are basically dealing with knowledges that's to do with tea drinking and all that, right. It's like these ones keep away from that type of thing, right. It's like if you look at sort of like my channel and Justin Hollowhead and the Natural and even Jungle's channel and all that, you get very few comments nowadays. You don't get like the massive amount what you used to get, and it's basically like the same people commenting like again and again. But when someone has like they put forward like a sort of video which doesn't mention the teas or whatever, like in any aspect, you get a load of these sort of channel things, accounts, and they come forward and start, doing putting forth a lot of opinions and all this. So I take it that these are basically, shills and trolls accounts, and they're basically, if you sort of give a platform, right, to anything to do with like the COVID idea or the corona idea, right, these ones will come forward and start sort of writing stuff about, like for example, the government wants us to, the government's going to force us to have vaccines, they're going to make us line up and get a vaccine, all this type of stuff, right, see. And this, right, what the objective of this is to do is to further the hex, see. This is like contributing to the hex and moving along the plan, right. So you do unwittingly just do like in innocent way, and that you do a video about the COVID or whatever, right. And these pro-government or pro-masonry type of trolls, right, will, will use that as an opportunity to sort of, try and further the sort of hex agenda, right. So you see a lot of stuff like that, which is why I would always do videos mentioning the tea aspect, which is obviously the biggest aspect of the whole game. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't mention the tea aspect, you're going to get these type of the sort of like in the middle type of mediocrity type of thing, trolls and that, who are going to attempt to use this to forward the hex agenda, right? With our fear porn, basically fear stuff and all that, right? But what I want to talk about in this video, right, is the bit of helpfulness to Matrix, right? Was I seen yesterday, right? I was looking through the news text service on the BBC thing and all that, right? And at one point they said they were going to do away with it, like it was, they were going to do away with it on a certain date, that text service. And then for some reason they sort of prolonged it, and didn't do away with it on that date, right? So, typical BBC sort of tactics and that, you know what I mean? But I've seen this story on that BBC text service yesterday, and I've looked again today, this morning, and it's not there anymore, right? So obviously, you know what I mean? So as we know, all the sort of news stories what they put out, right? Even the small ones and the big ones, obviously, are just, made up basically. They're just hex. They're like propaganda, agenda stuff, right? And this particular story, right, was about a woman who was exempt from wearing a face mask, right? And she went into a supermarket, right, and was subjected to abuse in the supermarket for not wearing a face mask, right? Which is, pretty ridiculous type idea anyway, right? But and then continuing the story, right, the woman was supposedly to have said, right, she's like exempt for like health conditions or something, you know what I mean? And then she was supposedly to have said, oh, you know, I'm too frightened to go out the house now. I'm going to have to do all my shopping via internet, you know. I'm not going back to any more supermarkets. I'm going to do all my shopping via the internet, right? So it's pretty obvious the propaganda in that particular little news story, right? Where basically the whole purpose of it is to want naturals out of society, right? And, you know, from the society at large gone, right? So that the T's can basically, you know, go about their business happy as Larry and all that, and just have the sort of, you know, have the whole world to themselves type of thing, which, you know what I mean? That's the basically it in a nutshell, like, you know, that's the sort of reasoning behind it and all that. So pretty sort of, you know, petty and nasty and all that, you know what I mean? Pretty sort of pathetic reason for it, but that's just the basic reasoning behind it, right? The whole corona hex and all that, right? And the obvious propaganda in that is they want the naturals to stay indoors in the house, locked away, full of fear, and even too scared to go to the supermarket. So you know, using the internet supermarket here, delivery service and all that. See what I'm saying? Yeah, which, you know, to my mind anyway, is like, you know, pathetic. Like, you know what I mean? But that's what they're sort of after trying to lead you to and all that, right? So basically hunting down naturals via hex. See, like the hunting idea and all that. They're basically hunting naturals via hex after hex, right? Simple as. And I mean, they must be able to tell, you know, if you're a natural and you're walking a boot, right? They must be able to sort of tell a lot easier than what we sort of naturals could tell. We were surrounded by T's up to this point, anyway. You know what I mean? They must have been able to sense or just see, or, you know, they're putting you under scrutiny or whatever, so that you can basically tell if you're a natural. Whereas if you're unaware, obviously you're not going to be able to tell if someone's a T. Like I see up to pretty recently anyway, you know what I mean? But that was the thinking behind it. Right? So, you know, as I say, in order to help Matrix in this type of idea, right, it's just useful to remember, right, that the whole sort of, the whole operation, right, is T's, right? So when you switch on a television, a TV, right, you basically, you know, like the V for victory idea, right? This is used as a weapon. The television is a weapon, right? And then you come to the sort of idea of Tellem, which is another weaponized idea, right? Like Morning Star, you know, Mace, like the sort of the Christian cross, which is a sword, you know, like the sort of seven, which is like the Zion, you know, it's all weapon coded, right? So it's all weaponry. So you've got the TV, the Tellem, with Tellem is like a sort of a javelin, spear, right? So the idea of projecting, it's like projecting a spear through this screen, right? It's a weaponized vehicle, basically the television screen, right? So when you switch on the television, as I've you know, I've showed this a few times, and others have showed it as well. It's all teas, it's all tea drinkers, the whole thing. Like everyone you're looking at on the television screen is a tea drinker, right? So it's like, you know, once you can grasp that sort of, you know, point, you know, the television becomes no longer a, you know, weaponized threat, you know. It becomes a joke, you know what I mean? It becomes just a laugh, basically, you know. If you want reality, you're going to have to go outside and experience it yourself and have to, but don't make the mistake of, you know, incorporating a TV screen into the reality, which, like I say about these shills and trolls, that's what they're doing, see. That's what they're doing, is they're incorporating the television type of broadcast and all that into the reality, and trying to make that sort of real and concrete in the mind of, you know, the natural person, right? Which, you know, like I say, once you can grasp that fact, you know, the TV just becomes a joke, you know what I mean? You take it as a joke, you know what I'm saying? So it's simple as that in that particular way, right? So, you know, that's basically what I wanted to say, to sort of, you know, give Matrix a bit of guidance and all that, right? And in all, like Matrix, he often sort of stays away from the T aspect in that, probably because he doesn't want to alienate like a large amount of the viewers to his videos and all that, right? But the way I view it is, like this sort of platform is basically not going to last forever. Like it's going to be, sort of phased out, with like the idea of the sort of truth videos or whatever, the real ones anyway. It's going to be phased out within the next couple of years, like for sure, because just need to look at how the sort of internet has changed over the last maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years and that, and it's totally become very sanitized and very cleaned up. So you can see what's going to happen with that. It's just going to become totally sanitized into another mainstream type of delivery service for television and garbage like that. You see what I'm saying? It's simple as that's the way it's headed. Right? So the way I view it is you may as well just incorporate the tea knowledge into your videos, and if you alienate people or whatever, then it wasn't worth much anyway. It obviously was just shills and trolls anyway. See what I'm saying? So you may as well just tell the whole game, and that's it. You see what I'm saying? So it's just my little bit of advice to Matrix, like